Okay, today I'm just going to show you a quick, easy way that you can copy information from one cell to another within a spreadsheet, or to copy something that you typed into a cell down to several others. So I'll just give you an example. In one cell, if I have a word or anything in there, I'll just type dog. I can easily copy that to other cells. When you look at a cell that you have selected, you'll notice it's got a dark border all the way around it, so you know that that's the cell that you have selected. In the bottom right corner, you'll see a black box. If I put my cursor over that, when it goes from a white cross to a black cross, you know you've got it in the right spot. I can click and drag that, and I can drag that to fill it down wherever I want. So if I want a whole column of the word dog, I can drag it down and it will automatically fill that in to all those other cells. Because it fills that in, it's called the fill handle. So if you ever see or you ever hear me refer to the fill handle, that's what I'm talking about. Now, why would I want to copy something like that to so many cells? Well, there are times you might want to copy a word or one specific thing into several cells, but there's many other times when you want to copy a series of things, like the days of the week or months or numbers in order, and you don't want to have to type them out the whole time. So if I had the days of the week, I could type Monday, but then I'd have to type Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on. Excel has built in an easy way to use this fill handle. Again, I'll select my cell, go to this bottom right corner till it turns into the black cross. I can use that fill handle and bring it down. And this time, instead of filling all of them in as the same word Monday, it will automatically fill them in with the correct days of the week in the order. So you can do this with days of the week, you can do this with months, you can do this with numbers. If you start with a series of numbers, you can do it with a pattern. If you have a repeating pattern of words, it'll automatically fill them in correctly. Numbers, if you copy a number, if you do one number and fill it down with your fill handle, you'll see that it just repeats that same number over and over and over, just like it did my word. You can use it to put numbers in order if you wanted to number something, but you have to show it that you want to start a series of numbers by putting at least 2 in. So I'll put in the number 1, and then I can put in the number 2, and if I select both of those by clicking and highlighting them both with my mouse, I can use my fill handle. It'll automatically fill in the rest of them, but it'll see that I started numbers but 1, 2, and it'll assume that I want to keep going with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So it's an easy way to fill in multiple cells with some information. You can then do that with formulas as well. If you want to add together, say I've got 2 columns of numbers now. If I want to add in a formula that adds these together, I can easily do that, just like we did any other formula. I can always start a formula with equals, and then select my cell. So I want to add this one, and I want to add it to this cell. So I'm going to add these two together. I'm going to add whatever is in D1, this cell, to whatever is in E1, which is this cell, and hit enter. Well, I could again continue, because I want to do all of these. I could then type in my formula several times, but we have this same capability to copy it down. The difference here is, like when you copied dog, you copied it down, 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 just copy the exact same thing. When you copy the number down, and copy the exact same thing. Here we've got cell references, D1, but these are considered relative cell references. So whenever I move my formula, my cell references will always change to be relative to where I move it. Meaning if I copy this formula down 1 cell, then my cell reference will move down 1 cell as well. If I copy my formula to the right 1 cell, then my cell reference will move to the right 1 cell. So if I copy this down, D1, if I copy the formula down, D1 would then become D2 because it's going to move down 1 cell. And E1 moves down 1 cell and will become E2. So let me try copying this down. I'll copy it down 1. And if we take a look at it, it moved my cell references down just like I moved my formula down. So you can do that to easily fill in this formula for the whole column, and each one of these will add these two cells becomes 3, these two become 4, these two is this one, and so on. So if I look at any of these, if I look at even the very last one, it automatically changed all of my cell references so that they are correct and relative to where I copied my formula. That works just the same way with functions. In the last video we talked about functions and how you can use functions in your formula to easily select a range of cells rather than having to type in B2 plus B3 plus B4 plus B5 plus B6 plus B7 and so on and so on and so on. You can easily put my function, always start a formula with equals. Then I need my function, and if you remember, I want to add all of these together to get a total, and when we add we want to find the sum of a number. So my function is sum, then I have my parenthesis, choose the cell range by clicking and dragging so that I've got my entire cell range highlighted, and then I need to close my parenthesis because I opened it, so I need to close it with another parenthesis. So as soon as I have my function in, hit enter, it'll give me my answer. But again, I can use my fill handle, and you don't always have to copy down like I showed you just a second ago. You can copy to the right, to the left, up, any direction. So I'm going to copy this all the way across. And if I look at any of these, you'll notice that the cell references, even with my function, will move relative to where I copied it. So because I copied this to the right, it moves my cell reference to the right. The original one was in this first column, and the original references were for B2 through B6. I moved it over 2, so now it's D2 through D6. If I look at another one, it'll have moved over, so this G2 through G6. So it's an easy, quick way that you can copy anything in your spreadsheet to multiple cells, and if you have cell references, it will automatically change the references for you so you can fill in a calculation like this and be done very quickly. Okay, for your assignment you should have all of the M&M counts from the other students by now. They should all be posted on the forum. And you just need to take those and compile them into a spreadsheet. You started a spreadsheet before in the last assignment, and you put together a small one with just this information here that had your M&M count from your bag. How many black, red, green, yellow, orange. How many M&Ms you had. You put a total and an average. So you're just going to add to that. You can use the same file. Just make sure you save as after you open it and save it as a second file so that you have two, one for the last lesson and one for this one. But you can add to it. Just add on more columns. Do a different column for each person in the class. And add in the amount of M&Ms they had so that we get a compile a list of everybody's counts, and then just do the same thing. You want to put in your totals, you put in your function, and use the fill handle to fill that across to the other cells. Do the same thing with the average. Put in your formula and fill it across so that you have the average for each person along with their totals. And then you want to find out how many black M&Ms there were total in the class, how many red total, how many green M&Ms do we have total for the entire class. So you'll put in a formula that adds up the other direction, adds all of the black M&Ms together, not by person but by color. And then you can use your fill handle and you can fill that down. It will copy the formatting when you copy it down, but you can easily fix that. That's not too hard. So that's pretty much it. Just compile all of it together, put in your formulas, and copy them across. Copy it across, then copy down your totals. And then if you're doing the A-level assignment, go back and find a way somewhere, like I did here, and add one last formula that will add up how many M&Ms total the class had. All colors, all people, how many M&Ms have we eaten as a class? Put that somewhere in your spreadsheet, and that would be for the A-level. If you have any questions, email me. You can post them on the forum, and I will respond as quickly as I can. And maybe other students will respond and help you out as well. So that is it. Thanks.